Tank Nation Conversations, promoting change through change.
I'm Brian Collier, Executive Director, Texas Department of Criminal Justice.
Blakinger.
Dennis Martinez. I'm a world and U.S. skateboard champion.
Hello, my name is Kevin Kempf, and I'm the Executive Director of the Correctional Leaders Association, and it's an honor.
Gary Moore.
Yeah, my name is Hedemias Cooper.
Hello, I'm Michael Dutra.
And this is Sharon Dutra.
I'm David Gorin. I'm a radio producer for the BBC.
I'm Maria Malgaronis.
My purpose is to look out at each and every man in this room and see that there's hope for everybody in here.
When I came to death row, all I knew was that I came here to die, but little did I know, I came here to live.
Engaging podcast now. Please stand by.
Yeah, this Dirty Face, man. This is A.R.M Radio, the Anointed rap movement, man. We in the building. My crew kind of short right now, but we got the most important guest in the house. Introduce yourself.
It's your girl KJ, SD1, straight out of Austin, Texas. Y'all know what it is, the First Lady of A.R.M, Inside Out Prison Ministry. I'm so excited to be back at the unit. Y'all just have no idea, man.
Well, it's been a while since you've been in the place, man. So pretty much tell everybody what's been going on.
So it's been about 3 years since I've been here, due to just different circumstances. But during that time, y'all got the new album, The Coming to Two Different Worlds. Y'all got that. I know y'all bumping that. And after that, I started school. So I'm going to school for biblical studies and theology at the Colorado Christian University. I'm taking online classes, which is very intense for me because I'm like a one-on-one, face-to-face type of person. So this technology and being on this computer is definitely difficult for me. But it allows me to continue to do ministry and go out and minister through music and, be here at the prison and the detention centers and everything else that I'm doing. And yesterday we had our first season of the Feeding the Homeless yesterday. So it's been going pretty good. Things have been going great. We finally officially got our website up. Our web store opens on November the 2nd, where the free world people can make purchases to help to fund the ministry and what we're doing. So it's really been a blessing. I've really been extremely busy, but I'm super excited to be here with you guys today and hearing about everything that y'all are doing on Tank and the A.R.M show and just everybody. I'm just so proud of you brothers, because you're using your time wisely while you're in here, and it's just a wonderful thing for me to be able to advocate for you guys and let them know that just because people are incarcerated does not mean they're wasting their time, does not mean that, you're just sitting on your thumb doing nothing, So I'm super proud of you guys. I'm super proud of you guys. And as I said, man, I'm just excited to be here.
All right. Yeah, we're excited to have you here because you are a big supporter of the A.R.M, because that's where we get the majority of our music and things like that. So, I got them topics. I ask questions on the A.R.M.
Oh, Lord.
So, one question I got for you is, what did you do this morning that you feel like to change the world?
This morning, just waking up. Just waking up every day and giving God praise for where he has brought me to. My journey isn't over, and just being with him and knowing, those of you who are part of the Inside Out Prison Ministry family, y'all receive those monthly JPays, and y'all hear my struggles. Y'all hear a little bit more personally about things than I talk to my own family about, because really, y'all are my family. But I'm just gonna say this: what you do today can change the world around you. And I'm saying that because what I do is changing my community. It is changing the world. On my ride up here, I was talking to Big Frank, and we were talking about that, kind of touching on it a little bit, that people expect wrong from someone who's been convicted. You're automatically judged, you're automatically labeled. But when I get off that stage from rapping, talking about God, speaking at these different events, their respect is so much. It's a different level of respect from the audience. not everyone's like that, but I'm just telling you, people are very judgmental. Y'all know I'm super street, so I ain't rolling in there in no skirt and no dress and all this stuff. I'm coming in there with my J's, my ball cap. I might have a soldier rag on. You know, it just depends on how I wake up and what I feel, but I know that I'm making an impact. I know that I'm making a change, and with you guys' support, especially when I'm down and y'all send me those cards and those encouraging letters, bro, that keeps me going. That really does. That keeps me going, because if you haven't been down, the people that never been down, they don't understand you. You know, they don't understand the struggle that it is. They don't understand what it takes to become, you know, where we are today. You know, like, none of us are in the same position that we were 10 years ago, 20 years ago. You know what I'm saying? It's all about growth. And we just give praise to God for that, because we know he does the ultimate increase in our lives, you know?
All right, well, question number 2. What's the biggest misconception for you being a Christian hip-hop rapper as a female and even in prison ministry? What's the biggest misconception?
The biggest misconception is they think I want to hook up with somebody. That is oh my, man, on God, everybody that know me, it ain't got nothing to do with that. Like, I come to these units and speak to these gentlemen because this is who God has put in front of me. In my life, I have 5 friends that are female. 5. Just 5. That's it. That's like, when I say they're my girls, they're my chicks, they're my riders, 5. That's it. Dudes, I just always have had a different kind of relationship with dudes, but nothing sexual, nothing on that kind of level. You know what I'm saying? It's just like really good friends, like my brothers. You know what I'm saying? Like, y'all like my brothers, bro. Like, you don't sleep with your brothers. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of sick, you know? So that is the one thing that like really gets to me, because it's like being a young black female to come to a male unit, you know what I'm saying? It's like it's a problem, like something is going on, you know, but nothing is going on but the ministry. Ain't nothing going on but the ministry. If you look at it, how many real female Christian hip hop artists are out there? How many? You know what I'm saying? You can't really name too many female Christian artists, because it's a male dominated era. It really is. And for me to do it the way that I do it, it's the way God gave it to me. So I'm not gonna alter myself or change myself to be pleasing to the eyes of man. Being a woman in ministry, being a woman in rap and hip hop, I'm not gonna change who I am. And it's super frustrating and irritating when it's like, oh well, you gotta wait and this, and it's like, why am I waiting? Like, being genderized is a racism too. You know, like, we already live in a pretty much male dominated world, but for a woman to want to share her passion, to, you know, be encouraging to a man, why is that a problem? Why is it a problem? It's not a problem when a man is telling a woman something. Why is it why is it a problem when a woman's saying, you know, encouraging a man? It's crazy to me. It's pretty crazy to me.
All right, well, do you got some questions for me?
You know I got some questions for you.
All right.
Hey, so, you know, I've been dealing with in my personal, I've been dealing with like faith. You know, my faith is being tested, and has been for the last 90 days. To the date, actually. The last 90 days to the date. I just thought about it, like, what? So can you give me an acronym for faith?
Acronym for faith. All right. This is a pretty good one. This one's faith.
I'm gonna write it down since
right.
it's pretty good.
All right. Faith. My acronym for faith is found answers in trusting Him.
Ooh, I like.
Did you get that? Found answers in trusting Him.
I got that. That's really good. To reply to that, faith makes things possible, but they're not easy. You know what I'm saying? And when you said trusting within Him,
yeah,
that we have to, or we ain't gonna have no faith. We gonna be out of there. So my other question, how would you rate your faith in God on a scale of 1 to 10, and why?
All right, my faith in God on a scale of 1 to 10, I would say it's like an 8.
Great honesty.
And the reason I would say that, because there's moments where I tend to give up, but I have to be reminded of who I'm doing it for.
Absolutely.
And why. So.
Absolutely. And the fact that you said an 8 and not a 10, you know, that shows your honesty, because some people, I'm a Christian, my faith on a 10.
No.
But your faith that sometimes could be at a 4, it could be at a 5, you know, depending on the storm that you're going through, you
Situation.
know. Yeah, it really does. So that I appreciate the honesty on that. So we all know why you're in here and the time that you have. Why do you still feel like God's gonna set you free from that life sentence?
Well, it's because of two verses, one in the Old Testament and one in the New Testament. The Old Testament verse is Genesis 50, verse 20, and he said, "What you intended for bad, God used for good," and the key to that was for this moment to save many lives, and that's the key to that, because I believe that based on the acronym I gave you for faith, because if I trust Him, then whatever I'm supposed to be doing, whatever storms, however long it takes, is to save lives. Because if He released me when I thought it was time, then I never would have had the opportunity to sit here, do the ARM show. I never would have been a life coach. I never would have been as deep as I am in the ministry. So everything that He has me doing is to save lives. So whenever He's ready for me to relinquish that life sentence, as long as I continue to save lives with what I'm doing in the ministry, then that's why I do it.
Congratulations on that life coach thing,
Damn, man. Big life coach.
Yeah, I see you with your little badge.
Yeah, I
you
got
know
to
what
stun a little bit.
I'm
I got to
saying?
stun a
Stunning
little
with
bit.
the badge, man.
That's a real police officer.
And then with the second one is in Galatians 6 and 9. It says, "Don't grow weary in doing good." And the key to that one is, if you faint not, you will receive your reward. So that's why I believe that God's going to relinquish me of that life sentence as long as I continue to do what I'm supposed to be doing to save lives for His glory.
Absolutely. I agree with you. I agree with you. All right. So can you be discouraged and faithful at the same time?
Ooh. Well, I in my opinion, I believe that you can't, because fear is a sin. To doubt is a sin. So I can't be faithful when I'm in sin. And it's when I go and plug back into the source that I can let go of that fear or let go of that discouragement, and then find my answers in trusting Him.
All right. So I'm going to disagree with you a little bit.
Okay, all right. That's what we're here for.
And the reason, only because there are times when we can be discouraged. We can be discouraged, but we still know and we still trust in God, because if you didn't have that faith in that time when you're discouraged, you would just walk away from the ministry. You would walk away completely, because it's like, this isn't working, this isn't doing, this isn't, you know. But having that faith keeps you holding on, even in a time of discouragement. Even in a time of discouragement, you're still holding on, because you know God can make a change in the snap of a finger. So that's why I say I disagree with the answer that you gave, only because I've been there, and like in discouraging times where I wanted to give up and walk away, I just couldn't.
Okay.
I just couldn't. Like, I just couldn't say, "Oh, screw this, I'm done." Like, it was always something like, well, these people aren't going to eat and they're going to be hungry. What about the brothers and the sisters that don't have family and you're all the family they have? Like, I can't just walk away from that. That's selfish. I can't just, even in my moments of discouragement, I can't just not be faithful in God and what He's going to do and fix the problems that, you know, are going on.
All right.
So, one more question for you.
All right.
Because you are a life coach.
Exactly.
The
Big life coach.
The police in
Come
white.
on, man. Come
the
on,
police
man.
in white.
Come on, man. Oh, man.
So I have this is a pretty important question.
Right.
And it's not just because you're a life coach, but you're a role model in here. People look up to you. You like me in the free world. You famous. You giving out autographs and all that stuff.
See, y'all heard it. Y'all heard it here, bitch. Yeah, y'all heard it. Y'all heard it.
But this is the question. Why is it important for your character, confidence, and commitment to reflect the image of God?
Okay, because I believe like when we was at that class getting coached, I said it on the radio before. Well, last week I believe. They say everybody wants to see a sermon and not hear it. So if I talk one way and I walk different, nobody's gonna believe me. Nobody's gonna trust me. Nobody's gonna pour out to me. But if they see me walking the same way that I talk or better, then they're gonna trust me because they see that I stand on what I believe in.
Absolutely. I'm gonna tell you this. Don't let your broken past make you take your present for granted. That's for everybody. That's for me too, because we've all been through situations. We all have something in common because we've all been incarcerated. But through that incarceration, where do you come out on the other side? Through that, like this time that, that we have here, during my time, bro, I had a whole game plan of how I was never going to come back here only to do ministry. Like a whole game plan, and not like as many darts and arrows that the enemy throws at me to try to like have people lie on me to get me in trouble. God has not allowed me to step foot back in cuffs to be incarcerated because it's a vow that I made to him leaving out of this place that I never wanted to come back. I only want to come back to share his word, to give encouragement to my brothers and sisters who are going through the same thing that I went through. And like a lot of y'all here, man, like y'all's time like quadruple my time. and I I commend y'all on that because you still here fighting. You still here, doing the ministry. You still here being positive. You're not being a knucklehead in here and causing more problems for yourself. So I commend y'all on that, because a lot of people, they straw men. They just can't make it. They won't make it at all. And I wrote this down too, because I took some notes because I take these interviews and things very seriously. And I just want to be an encouragement whenever I'm talking, and especially about God. But I had to go through the world to get to the kingdom, because the world always gonna want to bring you down.
Yeah.
The world always gonna bring you down. And if like mountains, you start at the bottom and you got to go up. So the world is the bottom of the mountain. The top of the mountain is the kingdom. And I want to leave y'all with that. Raw, go ahead and put that as the quote of the week. Go and put that as the quote of the week. But yeah, man, it's faith is important. Having strong faith is important, even in our weakest moments. It's very important that we keep the faith. It's very important that we keep the faith, for sure. For sure.
Well, I got questions.
I'll finesse. Yeah. Make them how you got.
Yeah, I sure do. So I hear you what you're saying about, okay, how to put this? I don't consider myself male chauvinist, so I don't look at a woman and say, oh, she's a girl, she can't do that. So what, from a woman's perspective, because we don't get to ask you, any autographs that he gave, it was his commissary slip. It wasn't
come on, man.
But as someone that's pretty much doing it out there, from a woman's perspective, you think that a lot of this bias is chauvinistic, or is it just like really traditionalized? If you just even look at hip hop, old school, if you weren't Salt and Pepper, there wasn't too many women doing it. So is it that people are, from your perspective, do you see it more chauvinistic, as in I don't think you can do it because you're a girl, or is it just tradition?
I think it goes both ways. So me growing up, before getting into my word and being a Christian, MC Lyte, Yo-Yo, so that I Want to Be Down remix with Brandy, MC Lyte, Queen Latifah, all them queens, man, that I still bang that because that's encouragement to me. Yeah. Because that's a powerhouse of female MCs that they aren't being explicit in their lyrics. They're not cursing. Like, if you listen to that stuff, they talking about real life stuff, like what was going on during their time. They talking about in a lot of MC Lyte songs, she's talking about because that was the coke epidemic, the crack cocaine epidemic when it came out. She talking about leaving that stuff to the streets. TLC, they talking about having safe protected sex in their first their first album. So it's like, I feel like it's both, but
I mean, you're talking about their legacy, and you're
yes.
saying, okay, look, MC Lyte, she did this, such and such did this.
But
what is God telling KJ her part? What is your puzzle piece? 10 years from now, what is the next person that's sitting at this table? God forbid I'm still doing this right here at this table, but God, I'm not speaking that on myself. But
okay.
So the next person I'm talking to, and I'm like, say, sister such and such, is it sexist or is it traditional bias? And she says, well, like my girl KJ, what would she say? What do you think your piece is into this whole game?
My piece in this whole gang is to mesh it together.
Mm-hmm.
That is my piece in this whole game, because it's about God. What I do is for God. It's not about a male or a female. It's about God. It's about His kingdom. So I feel like I'm the peacemaker. I'm the centerpiece to this puzzle.
Yeah.
Because not only with the male and female, but the generations. I got a song that I did with my grandmother. My grandmother's 81 years old,
mm-hmm.
and it's Amazing Grace. So my grandmother is singing the traditional Amazing Grace, but I'm rapping.
All right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's more beyond than just male and female to me. I'm the generational piece.
Yeah.
That's putting all the pieces together, because as I come in here and laugh and chop it up with y'all, I can go in a room full of 80, 90-year-olds and do the same thing in the same way, but in a different way where they're going to understand it. I know what songs to do. I know what songs to pick. I can come in here and come real hard with y'all, but when I'm doing stuff with them, I have to do something a little softer. And when I sit down after I'm done, everybody wants to talk. They're like, oh, man, I never thought rap could sound this good. I never really listened to rap, but the way you do it is
mm-hmm.
different. But it's not the way I do it. It's what God has given me to do, how He has trained my mind to know you can't go in here being like you in the streets. You know what I'm saying? Like, you need to go in here in a more professional manner and talk to these people, because they already feel like black people,
mm-hmm.
people that have been incarcerated,
mm-hmm.
street, you're a thug. That's the way they see it. So I have to already go in there saying, all right, this is already what they're thinking. How do I make them know that not everybody's like that change does happen in people's lives, and that it can be for a greater good, and that, that's how I think about it. That's the legacy. I'm the missing piece to the puzzle.
I think that y'all are changing to me, I think rap, hip hop, and all that. I think you're changing the culture, because you see somebody like Lecrae, and he, I was listening to him. I didn't even know it was him. He was talking to Brown University. He was in a suit, and so I think they're just breaking the stereotype. The average person that starts rapping somewhere, I mean, if you've been in here enough, in some of our highly Caucasian chaplains that we've had or something, somebody got up there, like, it would be like CO. You know who CO is? She came over here and she was a rapper. She a white chick, and she was wearing a fluffy sweater. And when she came in, I said, my God, she's gonna embarrass everybody right now. What can she do? And she grabbed that microphone and transformed up there like a transformer into something else. And so I think the reason I ask that is I don't see myself as a person that would sit there and say, oh, she's a girl, she can't rap. I'm just wondering why sometimes we have that thing. How do you think social media is helping you break through all this? What's it doing for you? Because a lot of guys have been here 30, 40 years you're talking to right now. They've never even seen a tablet. They don't even know what the internet is. What is social media doing for KJ to get out there?
So social media for me, like, honestly, I use it when I need to use it,
mm-hmm.
if that makes sense. And the reason is because when people give to you, when people want to give to you or find out a little more in depth, they'll follow your social media, because they want to know the person that they're supporting. They want to know you inside and out. They want to know, when you're not on that stage, are you the same person when you walking on the streets? And what brings me great joy, great supporter, which he supports Inside Out Prison Ministry and the A.R.M show, and he told me, you're the same person on that stage as the same person sitting at my dinner table.
Yeah.
And when he told me that, and I tell Dirty all the time, I told him, if I ever, get out of that category where I'm no longer humble, I want you to just smack me upside my head and be like, hey, fool, like, come on with it. Like, you know greater. And that's what really keeps me on the level where I need to be, because with social media, people can gas you up. People can tell you all this stuff. You got, people reaching out saying, hey, we want to do this, we want to do that. But, like, are their intentions good?
Yeah.
You know?
What's the last thing you know for sure? You know for sure that Jesus told you, like a voice. Like, man, KJ would say, man, I know for sure. This is the last amazing thing Jesus told me. What would it be?
The last amazing thing I can tell you.
I mean, everything's amazing, but I mean, something where you're like, I mean, most people are like, how do you even hear God, And since you have this relationship with him, what was the last thing that he said to you so personally? Oh, that's talking?
So it wasn't even anything he said, but y'all the first ones to hear this. But this was like last week. He gave me a full vision of Kingdom Music MFFK, which is Music Fit for the King, my label. He gave me a whole view of exactly how my studio would be, and I'm not an engineer or anything. And like when I go to these shows and stuff, I tell him, man, I'm just a rapper. I don't want to be fooling around with no mics and all. I know how to do it, but that's not what I'm here to do. Like I don't want to be fooling around with that. But he gave me this very clear vision, and these are things that I've been praying about, because I want to do more. I want to be able to produce more and do ministry full time, and like the catering things and stuff that I do, I want to do that just for leisure. Like I don't want that to be like I have to get up and go and do something for somebody else. I want to get up every day and do it for God. Like I want to just go hard in the ministry. And this is something I've been praying on constantly, bro. Just constant prayer on that. And man, he shows me so much. And
how do you know how do you know the difference between what God is showing you and what KJ just wants to see? How would you express knowing the difference between the two?
Because I seen God face to face when I was incarcerated. I know the difference.
All right.
I'm solid on the difference.
Because honestly, a bunch of us in here, that's all we hear is, it's just playing tricks with us. And we can't tell the difference between what we want to see and what's really happening.
Yeah.
And I think that's a problem with us believers is we don't know how to express to each other, hey, this is how you hear God, and just not you. But how do you overcome yourself? That self that says, nah, that ain't gonna be your studio, or no, you can't do that. Or hey, it's nothing but men, and you might as well just find you a restaurant job somewhere and be a waitress. How do you overcome that voice personally?
Conversations with the Father.
All right.
Conversations with the Father. I stay in constant prayer.
Yeah.
And sometimes our prayer life gets weak, to where we just, sliding by day to day, oh, thank you God for my food, and but we ain't having them in-depth conversations until them storms come.
Yeah.
But me, I try to stay on my knees. I try to do that day in and day out, because I know it's only because of him that I'm even sitting in this chair right now to do this interview.
Yeah.
When I'm traveling and I'm meeting these people and seeing these things, I know it's because he had a greater good for me.
Where are you going to be 5 years from now?
5 years from now?
Yeah. Where you see?
Man, I ain't gonna say what I see, but what I would want to. No, I'm not afraid to share, because I really don't try to predict anything.
Yeah.
I just let God do what he do. But 5 years from now, what I would just want to be doing ministry full time.
I mean, if you could just send God a recommendation email and say, hey, Lord, I'm recommending 5 years. Yeah. What would your I-60 say? 5 years from now, Lord, that's what I'd like to see.
What I would like to see, I would like to have my own home,
Mm-hmm.
and I would like to be doing ministry, and I would like to have a transitional home that I operate to be able to help you guys and those who are homeless on the streets to just become better citizens.
You think it's possible?
Oh yeah.
Well,
all things are possible with God, bro.
We say that. We throw it. We sling that around. There's people. There's a guy sitting in his cell right now, in with 4 walls. He takes 3 steps forward, hits a wall, takes 3 steps back, hits a wall. He's got an execution date coming, or it's already there. And we say, as believers, we say, man, all things are possible.
But I wouldn't tell him that.
Yeah, what would you say?
I wouldn't tell him.
You're talking to him right now. What would you say?
I wouldn't say that to you. To my brother that's locked in there, I wouldn't tell you that, because that could be a cliche that all things are possible to God. Mm-hmm. But what I will tell you, what I will say, is what God has planned for you, no man can take away from you.
Yeah.
No man can take away from you. And I'm saying that because they sentenced me to a 10-year sentence. I went down, my original charge was for attempted murder. Mm-hmm. And God removed that to just ag assault, seriously bodily injuries.
Yeah.
And I know he can do the impossible. I know he can do the impossible, but he's not going to do something to any of us that's outside of his will, his purpose, and his plan for us.
Yeah.
So just because you're in those 4 walls, locked in 23, mm-hmm. that does not mean that's where you're gonna always be.
Yeah.
And that's for everybody listening. Those set-offs, those life sentences, those 30, 40 years, bro, God can change that in the snap of a finger. He can change it in the snap of a finger. But what are you doing for him? Mm-hmm. What are you doing for him? What are you doing to pour back into the kingdom? That's what you need to be focused on, not the time, what are you doing to pour back into the kingdom? Mm-hmm. That's the most important thing, because God has to see you giving him something in order for him to give you something.
Yeah. And
I fully believe in that, because, we got people that have been Christians for years, but they're still stagnant. They're still, they're still stagnant. Like, there's no movement. Like, a lot of you men in here, y'all doing more than them preachers that own churches and all this stuff out there. They just collecting a check. Y'all doing it because this is true passion in your heart. You want people to know about God. You want to share his kingdom and glorify him. You know what I'm saying?
You think the world's starting to listen to conversations that are coming out of here?
I listen to them. I don't know if they are, but I'm just saying, like, there's a lot of lazy pastors out there. There's a lot of people who aren't evangelizing, and that's clear in the word that's what we're supposed to be doing. Y'all probably see the same people coming in here to volunteer because they care. Yeah. But there's so many churches, bro. There's billions of churches, and you probably see the same 10 churches coming here all the time, talk to y'all. And that's that, but there's so much more that can be done. These people are just lazy. They're lazy, and they're using.
Yeah, man, I'm in the building now.
By time.
Always showing up late, but the whole thing is you here, right?
Yeah.
So I'm kind of in awe. I'm awestruck right now because I'm sitting in front of SD1.
SD1.
Nah, for real. SD1, and I'm talking about what she got on was just like illuminating. I'm talking about this color coordinating
She's
that
stunned.
she got on and everything. So
pretty real stunned.
So I gotta get my mind right. I gotta get my mind right while I'm looking across the table, right? So good thing. Nice to finally meet you.
Absolutely.
Put the face with the everything that's going on.
Absolutely, brother. I'm grateful to be here. Congratulations on your life, Coach, as well, man. Y'all doing great things, man. I'm super proud of you.
Okay,
super proud of you.
Thank you, and I'm super proud of you because you've been doing great things. I want to ask you one question real quick. What's the last adventure you done? The last greatest.
My last event?
Yes.
Oh man. So last weekend I was in Fort Worth. And the video's being edited for that right now. But the most wonderful thing about that event, my nephew, who is 3 years old, he'll be 4 in next week. Actually, he'll be 4 next week, and he knows the lyrics to the songs. He knows the and I know he watches the videos on YouTube and all this stuff, but it's different when I'm planting that positive seed in him. You know what I'm saying? Because his mom, first of all, is Buddhist, so she's Buddhist, and that's like a complete controversy with our family because we're Christian, you know. And for me to be that positive one that he's looking to, and he's singing these words, and like they ain't no little words, like he's saying the whole, like he's spitting the verse like he wrote it, you know. So that was amazing, you know. And I was in the center of downtown Fort Worth, and there were just people walking by, and I was like spitting, talking about God right there on the sidewalk. I was just rapping.
Okay, so basically, I'm gonna say it like this. Then you're a movement.
I am a movement.
Okay, so
I am a movement, bro.
Being a movement. How do you see yourself? Do you see yourself as like when you look in the mirror? Do you say like, man, you know, I came from the bottom. Now I'm here. How do you see yourself? How do you, when you look, do you actually say, man, I'm somebody? I'm what? What do you feel when you see yourself?
I don't even do that. Like, no, I don't. And you saying that like now you gonna have me look in the mirror at myself like, man, you know, SD1. You
okay,
know?
Then I'm asking like this. Then are you your ideal self yet?
No, I feel like I still have some improvement that I can make.
Always.
It's always improvement that could be made, and I'll tell y'all this. So like when I go and do these events and things, I go back and I look at the videos. Like I watch myself, because when I'm doing it for God. It's not even for the world. It's for God, and I want it to be perfect for Him. I want to give my all for Him. So in some settings, you'll see me get emotional. I'll start crying, get emotional, but I'm still rapping. Sometimes I'll say a line, you'll see me smiling because God has brought me through some stuff, you know what I'm saying? So I'm grateful to share this with you, to tell you like, man, like just keep holding on, you know. God, we all going through it, but some people's levels of going through it is a little higher than another person. And so it's just, man, it's an awesome thing to be able to allow His light to shine through me, no matter where I'm at, no matter where I go. People see God in me, and that's the blessing in it. That's the blessing in it. That is the blessing in it. Like such an amazing factor. It's just a blessing to be a blessing.
Okay, so you giving all honor and praise to God, right? Which is unbeknown that you would do that. I know you would do that, right? Seeing where you come from. But I'm asking this question: did God bring you to where you at, or did you have to put in work, link up to become who you are?
So that's a two-part question, and I'm gonna give you a two-part answer. So God did bring me where I am, but I did have to put in work and link up with Him, build that solid foundation to where I'm trusting Him, He's trusting me, and He's just letting these blessings flow.
Okay, so it's a lot of people out there under the sound of your voice right now that's saying, okay, this is my disposition, where I'm at right here. I want God to take me here. I see God taking me here, right? I want to be a man to finally get out after 20, 30 plus years, right? And I want to be on this plateau. This is my ideal self.
You got to put in that work.
You got to put in work,
You got to put in work. It's not going to just come to you. And I say that because as felons, like I'm speaking for me too. Mm-hmm. The world looks at you completely different. They don't want to hire you. They don't want to give you a chance. You got to put in the work. You got to let them know I'm a hard worker. I'm going to go hard. I'm going to come to work every time. I'm going to be there 20 minutes before it's time for me to punch in for my shift because I'm dedicated. I don't want to lose my job. I want to be able to provide financially for my family in a legal way. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have to have that mindset. You can't just like, oh, well, I'm a Christian, God blessing me. Oh, no, you cannot do that. Like, you have to put in that work. You got groundwork. That's what I call it. I got a song called Groundwork. You got to put in that groundwork. And once you put in that groundwork, God's going to elevate you to those levels. He's going to introduce you to these people, like, just spectacular. You know what I'm saying? Like, you could be in a grocery line, and I'm going to tell you what happened with Walker. He's in a grocery line looking for a job. Like, gets out, he's looking for a job. Dude in the grocery line behind him hears his conversation on the phone, offers this man a job. Dude been working the job, done trained him and everything. You know what I'm saying? It's God's appointed place and the time, but you have to put in that work. It's not just gonna come to you easy.
Okay, so I know we got a slogan on here: stay tuned in
and not tuned
So
out.
when you just said you was a felon, you got an X on your back. I know a lot of people ears done perked up. They tuned in now. They like, hold up, she like us. Like, what's going on? Who is this? So they tuned in even more now to your conversation because they can identify. They say, okay, so she can identify. So I'm gonna ask you this: switching gears. Now, coming from where we at to now where you at, what is one of the things that you treasure the most? Something that you lost. I don't want to hear. I want you to go a little deeper past. I know most people just say, well, I just treasure my freedom, or I just treasure being there. What is it, something that you be like, man, you know what? I treasure just eating a bowl of Cheerios every morning. That's just something that just I do every morning.
Popeye's chicken sandwich.
What is it you like, man, I don't never want to go without this ever again?
My family.
Okay.
My family. It ain't even about the food or nothing like that. So I got a military background. I was born in Fort Hood. We lived in Germany.
254.
254, yo.
255.
You know what I'm saying?
No.
So we moved to Germany because my dad had to do Desert Storm. So we were over there. But in Germany, it was just my mom, my dad, my brother, and my sister. There was no other family. So when you don't have nobody else, you got to figure it out real quick. My parents were young in their marriage, you know what I'm saying, had been married maybe 4 years or so, and they had to figure it out. My grandma wasn't there to, bail them out. My grandpa, it was us. So having that taken away, and I love my grandma, man, and she the last living one that I have. So being taken away from her, and at the time my great grandmother, she was 96 when she passed in 2019. My great grandmother, bro, when I had to call her on the phone, and you know what I'm saying, and like that was hurtful because I didn't know if I was gonna be able to see, you know what I'm saying, to see her again, because she was already so old, you know what I'm saying. But God preserved that, and everybody in the family will tell you it was like she held on until I got out because her health started to decline once I got home. And so my family is very important to me. It's very important.
Family is one of your core values.
Very important. Very important.
So would you say that a person has to start adopting core values that will be like conducive or that will help them when they get out? Because let's say, for instance, if you value just fame, right? That's one of your core values, and it don't come when you get out.
You ain't gonna make it.
See, so you have to. Are you saying that we have to adapt or try to adopt? I mean, core values that attainable.
Absolutely, and what's the most important thing? Like, is having a cheeseburger more important than, you know what I'm saying, being with your wife, being with your mother, being with your kids? You know what I'm saying? Like, is really a cheeseburger that you know what I'm saying? Like,
is that tune more important?
Because the thing is, the cheeseburger is temporary. You know what I'm saying? It's temporary. As soon as you eat it, it's gone. But the family that supports you, the church people that support you, them people gonna be there. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna be there. They're gonna help. They're gonna push you forward. And that was a great part of my success, is having solid support once I got out. Like, I had to live with my parents for a year. I was in a bunk bed on the top bunk with my 10-year-old nephew. He was 10 at the time. You know what I'm saying? It was things that, because I'm very independent. I live by myself. I always have. I'm that child of my parents. You know what I'm saying? I never went back home. When I got out of prison, God broke me all the way down. He humbled me to the humblest level, to where I had to be super obedient to him and do everything the way he designed it. Not my way, but God's way. And that is a major part of my success, as well as the support and backup from the people that were coming to visit me when I was in prison. Not even folks from the church that, when I was going to church in the world, these are people I met on this journey coming into prison, and the clergies and things like that's my support. They still rock with me. They show up to the shows. They come to the speaking events. They subscribe to the YouTube. They want to know, how can we help? They are the support. They help me. They keep me going. You know what I'm saying? Because I didn't come from a lot of money. You know what I'm saying? Like, but when I realized I could make $1,000 in 10 minutes talking about Jesus, I was like, oh yeah, I need to do this every day. This is what I need to do every day. I need to serve God and have people to pour into the ministry because what I'm telling to my community. Like when I figured that out and was like, oh yeah, this what I want to do. Like it's not hard, it's fun. You sharing God's love, you sharing His word. Why not?
Yeah.
Why not?
So it's a lot of people right now that's probably listening that's gonna hear this as it airs. That's saying, don't nobody come visit me. I don't have nothing. You got the woe is me mentality, and I don't go to commissary. I don't got this, I don't have that. And I may be even in prison with a life sentence right now, or I'm on SEG right now, or I'm on closed custody, and they don't have nothing. They just feeling like, so can you tell them what actually the hardships of life, the thing that they're experiencing, what can they do for you in a positive level, those hardships they're experiencing right now?
So first of all, I want to tell my brothers that you're not alone, and I know in the ministry there are a lot of people that write me and tell me, and I hear this so often, I'm the only family that they have. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna give y'all this P.O. box. I'm gonna give you the address. You write me, and I can guarantee you'll hear from me at least once a month, because I don't want anyone to feel like they don't have anybody. Because when I was in there were times I felt that way, even though I got a whole family. But I know these walls start to close in on you sometimes. I know that, I've experienced it. I know what it can do. It can strip you from everything, all your values that you ever had. And I never ever want anyone to feel that low, that lonely, because as your sister in Christ, as a minister, as a leader in the kingdom, you know what I'm saying? I can't let you feel like that. I can't let you feel that, this is it. I have to share encouragement with you. I have to show you love. I have to. This is not, it's not an option for me, because I love y'all like we grew up in the same house together, and that's genuine. You know what I'm saying? I love you like we slept in the bed together, jumping in the bed outside playing football, basketball, whatever, you know what I'm saying? That's real for me, So I want you to know that you're not alone, and you're cared for, and I care, and I got people that, I tell them, hey, shoot this person a letter, because it's important. And I know that mail is the most important time in here, because that's the only time you can really feel like you're not in this place. You're not trapped in here. When you get that mail and you reading the story about what somebody else got going on, you know what I'm saying? I know, man, man, it's crazy. Ask me that second part of the question again.
I forgot you took us out there, so we
but
just
you gotta
listening.
make sure you read the fine print. Give them the fine print about don't write talking about this.
Oh yeah. Do not.
Give them the fine print.
Okay, this is the fine print. This is what they talking about. We are not a dating hookup. Ain't none of that going on. And if you want to see me get real street, you go ahead and write something trying to be crazy. You gonna hear about it. But I'm gonna go and shoot y'all that P.O. box. It's P.O. Box 517 in Buda, Texas, 78610. Buda is Buda, and it's Inside Out Prison Ministry, or you could put KJ, First Lady of A.R.M, whatever you want to put on there. Them people at that post office are real good to me, so it's gonna come to me. P.O. Box 517, Buda, Texas, 78610. And I'm gonna just shoot this out here for your family. You can tell them to check out the website. It's www.thekingdomera.org. Also on YouTube is the Kingdom Era. There's a lot of stuff on there. I ain't gonna say too much. Just tell your family to go on there, because I advocate for you guys in a whole different way, But yeah, y'all check that out, man. And yeah, man. Go ahead. I'm waiting on some letters, but nothing crazy. Don't send nothing crazy, because then I gotta get crazy.
So I'm sitting across the table from KJ, and I'm hearing her story, and I'm knowing that she done been where we at right now, and things of this. It's still hard to see that. it's still hard to see that.
Why is that?
So I don't know. I'm just looking at you. You just look. I can't see prison on you, and that's a great transfer. That's that's a beautiful thing. But since I can't see, I want you. What is your favorite commissary food? What is your favorite commissary food?
Hold up.
We gotta go down.
Hey. Y'all know, man. Hold up. I love them whole shebangs. And I love them fruit sticks, baby. I love them fruit sticks. I ain't gonna even lie. Them shebangs and them fruit sticks is what's jumping. They is jumping.
You know, everything commissary done went up. I'm sure you know about that. Cause
Shoot,
everything in the world
out there done went up. So, yeah.
That's crazy.
Hey, so if y'all want shebangs, fruit sticks, you know what I'm saying?
You had to open that door. Shebang and frog.
Nah, for real, I had to open that door. I seen Dirty's sending some shebangs and some fruit sticks. I said, man, what's that for? He said, KJ. I said, man, KJ, thank you.
Yeah, man, I appreciate. Hey, man, I appreciate that. That was a beautiful birthday gift, man. I appreciate that.
Beautiful.
Y'all have no clue, man. When y'all send me stuff because I don't expect it, you know what I'm saying? You in a tight position. You waiting on somebody to send something to you, but you think about me. That's love, you know what I'm saying? I greatly appreciate that. So yeah, I did get some shebangs and some fruit sticks for my birthday. I ain't mad about it. I appreciate that.
Mow them down.
And then told, I said, well, I forgot what I said. I said, man, thank you. She said, Chris, I'm thank you. I said, hey, I seen you some too.
Yeah, he wrote me being messy, y'all. He was like, yeah, so what you like again? I said, man, you know what I like, man. Go give me them shebangs, man. Quit playing with me. But yeah, man, that's it. That's love, man. I appreciate y'all. You know what I'm saying? Like in this last little 90-day saga that I was all depressed and all this foolishness the enemy, you know, was getting to me. I got some very encouraging words and cards, and I'm gonna give a shout out to my brother Jonathan Graham. Bro, I love you, man. I appreciate those words. Curtis.
Curtie, my boy.
Curtie, yeah, man. I appreciate you, bro. Like, these people, like, when I tell you they went down through there and, like, hit me up and said some pretty sincere, heartfelt things. I appreciate that. And Raw ain't in the building, but we've had some pretty in-depth conversations during this dark time that I just come out of. So I appreciate y'all, man. Like, just know that even if I don't write back right away, bro, I never not read the mail. You know what I'm saying? It's just I be having so much stuff going on and people tugging me here and there, and when you the CEO of things, everybody won't move until you like put a fire behind them, you know what I'm saying? So I have to like babysit some grown folks sometimes to make sure things are moving forward for the ministry. But I greatly appreciate y'all's words, man, the cards that I received, and phone calls, and just sitting on the phone and letting me cry, man. You know, I appreciate that. That's love. That's true love, and that's what family's all about.
You ain't got no more questions, anybody, before we round it out?
I just like everybody that's listening to this. I know that people all over state of Texas with a tablet in their hand are listening to this, and I know the content's great and the hope's there, and we're hearing good survival stories and how God can take you over the mountain and all that. But I just like you to see it for what it is. This is the Anointed Rap Movement. It is a music show here at the Polunsky Unit, Tank Nation, and the fact that we're sitting here with a sister that was here before, the fact that we sit here with directors and people like that, man, it ought to give you hope, man, that your voice is not under some shade somewhere. You don't have the ability to change people's lives, man. There are people that are breaking down your doors one here. So whatever facility you're on, it is not that impossible to start something like this for yourself and to get out there and get your voice, because I believe that we're not going to change any legislative laws anytime soon. We're not going to make Governor Abbott just have a soft heart for incarcerated individuals anytime soon. But I'm telling you, when people see real change like this and hear it and hear your conversation, it will bring change no matter what.
Absolutely.
With that, we got to do our closing.
Megamind don't make me not even want to speak on the mic. He got that magnificent voice.
That voice.
You hear how mine sound? Hear it sound totally.
All right, but
that's what they say. They say when I'm talking, That's all they hear. So
Oh my God!
That's all they hear. That's what you hear in the back of your. You might not want to admit it. That's all you hear while I'm talking.
I'm gonna make a little promise to you guys. So Dirty, that's sitting across the table from me. This song that God gave him a chorus, and I didn't bring the song today because these people and these IOCs and all this stuff. But just know I'll be back. I'll be back real soon, and I'll be dropping that off. But this the latest track that I got out right now is KJ, K-A-Y-J-A-Y, SD1, which stands for Street Disciple 1. That's what the SD1 stands for. It's a song called Conversations, and prior to, I didn't know what was about to be happening, what was about to be going on, but God made it to where I had to have these conversations with him, because prior to this song, man, things was going, just great. Everything was perfect. The day I recorded the song in the studio, my great uncle passed away, my grandmother's oldest brother, and I was like, man, God always makes it to where I don't sit and slumber and I'm not sad about things, because he always has me doing some work for him. So Dirty sent this hook to me. We're chopping it up, and he sent this hook for me, and I had this beat for a very long time. Prior to that, in May, I went and spent 2 weeks with my grandmother. I got to see my uncle, before he passed away and things, but he was getting better, but it's all God's will, and I don't question decisions that God makes. But the point that I got to visit with him and see him, and I had that beat, and I just I couldn't come up with anything. There was nothing. Soon as this brother, man, this anointed man of God, gave me this hook that he had to have a conversation with God about prior to even giving me the hook. He had, I'll let him tell that, but he had a whole situation with God before even, saying, okay, this is for you. That song is making some moves out here in the world. It's called Conversations, and I talk about the conversations I'm having with God. As soon as he gave me that, I was able to write that song pretty quick. I talk about the school shootings. I talk about the looting. I talk about all this terrible stuff that's going on in the world, but these are things that I pray to God about, because if we're not praying to him, and as Mastermind said, Megamind, I'm sorry. As Megamind said, I'm sorry, bro. As Megamind said, we can't change the judicial system, but we can pray about the judicial system. There's so many laws and things that are just not right. Right now, I'm still on paper, you know what I'm saying? And they want to change. I've been coming to the unit for forever, and now all of a sudden I need to get a pass from the PO to come. Like, what? And then I asked for the pass, and they're like, oh, the email's sufficient. Like, what the heck? Like, come on now. Like, every day, they're making some type of adjustments to try to make you be uncomfortable in what it is that you're doing. But I pray for them people too, what I'm saying? I pray about this stuff because I can't vote, what I'm saying? Because I'm still on paper. It's against the law. Like, we need to pray about that being changed. Like, I've done my time in the prison. Why am I still being punished out there? But you gonna take my taxes. I'm working, you gonna take my taxes, but I don't have a voice in what my tax dollars go toward. That's not okay, you know what I'm saying? So I pray for things like that, and this song, I'll bring it in. I'll let them, premiere it here. But it's a very in-depth song, and it's a even more special song because it's something that, and when I do it, I tell him, hey, my brother Dirty, and I say shout out to Dirty every single time I do this song live, wherever I'm at. I say this because you give credit where credit is due. I didn't write that. That wasn't that. I just took it the way God said to do with it. We were both obedient from God, and I feel like this song is the song, and the fact that my 3-year-old nephew picks up on that, Conversations with the Father, he saying the whole hook. He's 3.
Tell him what it's doing on the internet.
Oh yeah, it's blowing up. Oh man, yeah, I dropped that in August the 26th, and we got we got quite a bit of views, and the money from the streams is coming in too, you know, because people like the song. They like the song. They like what it's talking about, and I don't really go in too deep, but it's like it hits that surface to make you think. You know what I'm saying? And when you talking about the Uvalde shooting, you know, and how things were not taken care of in the way that it needed to be taken care of for some innocent children, you know, they get up just going to school to learn, you know, and they don't make it home. You know what I'm saying? They don't come home. And there was just this other shooting in St. Louis. You know, it's really getting ridiculous out there, you know, and talking about it and bringing it to the attention of others and praying about it is what we have to do. This is what we have to do. Everybody plays a major role, and if we all praying on one accord, you know what I'm saying, pray without ceasing. That's in the song too. It's loaded, but it's like hitting that spot to where people's eyes are opened to prayer, to God being the answer to the problems that the world is having.
Wow. Well, at least we had a chance to have you in the building.
Yeah.
Instead of doing the shout outs, talking about shout out to the First Lady of A.R.M, were you in here?
The First Lady's in the building.
In the building, man. I'm talking about, like, it's crazy because I know somebody that's under the sound of our voices seeing the progression that we got, even though the legislative judicial system is seen like it may be against you or whatever the case may be. It's people listening to us and they hearing Mega Mind, they like, wow, they got a whole radio station on the Polunsky Unit. And then they hearing you, KJ, and they like, wow, they got a whole celebrity sitting in front of them right now, and they like, man, all this stuff and I'm telling you, man, that take advantage of Carpe Diem. Seize the moment, man. Take advantage of what you got right now and who's on the side of you right now.
Absolutely.
It's somebody that's right there that you don't know. We didn't know that we would be in this position.
Absolutely.
Only thing you know is that you stay faithful, you keep on pushing, and man, you stay obedient. And man, look at this. We didn't know 20 years ago that Polunsky would have a radio station and that Mega Mind would be sitting behind the on Overtank Nation, the things of this nature. Shane to be in here. We didn't know these things, but man, I'm telling you, like KJ said,
Polunsky is the trendsetter.
Yeah.
Do what you do. God is always there. He's like a power switch. He's like a socket right there. The socket is there. It is there. The power, it is unlimited. Only thing you gotta do is plug in that source power, man. And guess what? You don't know where it's gonna take off to in the midst of these situations that may seem unfair.
Yes.
That just seem like, man, it's against me. I'm talking about, man, guess what? Like Tupac was saying, you be a rose in the midst of the concrete.
Absolutely.
You're still a rose.
Yes. Yes. And y'all said some great words. Remain humble. Always remain humble. Never forget where you came from. Never be embarrassed of where you came from. Remain humble, because your past could be your future. You know what I'm saying? Because of what you went through in the past can open doors for your future. And you never know what God has if you suppressing, you know, your past. The first thing I tell people, you know, I've been incarcerated. You know, I'm not ashamed to say it. I'm not embarrassed to say it. I'm not afraid to tell the story. Why? Because the enemy wants you to be ashamed and embarrassed so he can keep using that against you. But once you push through that and know, okay, this happened, but look what God has done. You know, because of this, because of my incarceration, I have a prison ministry, have a homeless ministry. I'm rapping. I'm traveling the world, you know, because God knew I needed to sit down. I was an arrogant, cocky little something, you know what I'm saying? And I spent my money on a bunch of bull crap. Like, I bought shoes and a bunch of bull crap. But now I pour 95% of that into the ministry. I never really keep anything for myself. I pour into the ministry. I pour into the ministry because I want to give God my all. I want him to know that, like, I'm serious about this. This is what I want. I want to help people. I want people to know, like you said, there's somebody standing right there next to you. Change can happen. And I want y'all to know, you know, change can happen. Change will happen. You know what I'm saying? Change will happen. But when that change comes, you got to be ready for it. You got to be ready for it. You can't be messing around, playing around, saying, oh, I believe in God and all this, and you messing around. You can't can't serve two masters. Y'all got that count on the couch. Y'all know what it say. You know what I'm saying? You can't be messing around. You can't be lukewarm with him. You got to be right or you got to be left. That's it. He's not gonna bless you when you play in the field like that. He's just not. It's not gonna happen.
Mega Mind.
Time's
that
up
saying?
a visitation. Huh?
Oh, that's a time of visitation.
Y'all didn't see the 5 minute. Yeah.
Listen, tell us that story before we go out. It's a quote that you always put. Your story will be, I'm paraphrasing it, one day your story will be somebody's.
Basically, you say that your conversation today becomes somebody else's survival guide when they're going through the same thing. But you got to conversate about it. You have to talk about it. Because when you do, other people begin to realize, man, I'm not the only one going through this, and I'm not the only one that survived this or is trying to survive this. And I'm telling you, man, people like KJ, Dirty Face, everybody, man, Raw, everybody out there, these are survival stories, man. Sometimes you just got to go through it, you know, and it just takes off those rough edges. But you got to have a conversation. If you sit on the sidelines and cry about it, it's not going to do nothing. But when you start talking about it, I'm telling you, it moves mountains. You can give us that website one last time.
It's www.thekingdomera. That's DA Kingdom Era, like the new era hats.org. Yeah, y'all check it out, man. Send it to your people. The YouTube is the Kingdom Era as well. You'll see some pretty live content on there as well. I appreciate y'all for having me. I love y'all, and I'll be back soon, man. And it's your girl KJ SD1, straight out of Austin, Texas, the First Lady of A.R.M. You know what it is, Inside Out Prison Ministry. We in the building.
All right, well, we got to do our closing before we turn out, man. It say, all that isn't given
is lost.
All that give off light
must endure a little burning.
And most importantly, stay
tuned in
and not tuned out.
You dig?
Tank Nation Conversations, promoting change through change. Tank Nation Conversations, promoting